what's up, everybody? Commissioner Ace Coach 704, PEL Season 5 Post-Draft Recap Show. Another draft in the books. We're going to look at the first round, guys. Talk a little bit about who picked who, good picks, bad picks, so forth, so on. And then we'll move along to advancing to the preseason. We'll advance every 15 minutes. And then we'll stop at week 4 in the preseason. And remember, you only sign one player outside of punters and kickers in the preseason. So let a couple more guys get on here as I pull up my storyline player notes. And there we go. All right, so of course, number 1 pick overall. I wasn't sure what the Seahawks were going to do, but they went ahead and took wide receiver Preston early. And I said in the chat that I made this guy in the mold of a wide receiver that I coached when I was an offense coordinator back in, what year was that, 2010. This guy made all city, first team. He had 80 catches for 1,280 yards and 11 touchdowns. So I made this guy in this mold, and his name was Preston as well. Obviously, as you can see right there, he's 6'5", 229, hidden development trait. I will tell you that his development is superstar. It's got 95 speed, 95 acceleration, agility 95, jumping 93. You can already run good routes. And you see his traits right there. And they gave him a team player trait, which is just like how Preston was, which is hilarious. So, he's got everything you want to be a dominant star receiver, and I'm sure he will be that for the Seahawks, obviously. So, this was a good number 1 overall pick. Night Train Lane goes to Denver at number 2. He was probably the best corner in the draft. His storyline was kind of pretty easy to read. I pretty much told you he was going to be a sure thing. He's also a superstar development guy. 6'2", 184. Played for the North Carolina team that won the fictional national championship. You see his speed and acceleration, agility, jumping are all in the 90s along with catching. Good traits to start with on the coverage side. Charismatic, disciplined, penalty tendency, along with aggressive play ball. He's going to be a shutdown corner for the next 10 years. I mean, no-brainer pick right there. All right, Martin Allen. Probably the best non-storyline player in the draft, taken by the Patriots at number 3. Normal development's a little surprising, but 81 overall, very good player. You see he's got the high finesse move, speed and acceleration. Strength goes along with it. Good block shed as well. I mean, he's a leader in his personality. Yeah, I mean, he's a hell of a guy right there. Most years this would be a great number 1 overall pick, but I mean, hey, you know, he still goes top 5, and he's going to be a really good difference maker on that D-line. And if he develops and gets to X Factor, he's going to wreak havoc. Good pick. All right, there's the safety DeAndre Young going to the Titans. Number 4 overall, hidden trait, 77 overall. A lot of guys wanted this guy right here. Speed and acceleration is a little lower than I thought it would be, but he's got good coverage, good hit power, good awareness for safety, rookie safety at that. He's got some pretty decent traits right there. So, I mean, he comes out to be a pretty good player, but I thought he was going to be a little faster than what he actually is. So, a little disappointing, but hopefully he's got a nice development trait to go with him. All right, Steelers. I did set the draft board for the top pick, and Zeke Sally was the guy that fell to him. I felt like they needed a impact defensive player, and this was a good D-line class, and Sally, fits the mold, and there's a big need for a speed rushing D-end in Pittsburgh. You see he's got the finesse move, good speed, good strength, nice combination block shed. He can play anywhere on the D line. It comes with a nice little spin move and high motor, which is nice for a D line player. So he's gonna be a good player, and hopefully he's got a nice trait to go with it. All right, Frank Flash goes to the Bucks. Storyline guy, only normal development. On his storyline, he had a problem with being what was his? See, oh, he's not very mentally strong. This was the guy that DX'd Ace Carlson in the championship game and got a penalty, which is why his team lost. And it's funny, his personality's charismatic, which is perfect. That matches storyline. But you see, he's got everything you want. 86 finesse move at the box, 84, 85 speed and acceleration, strength 83, block shed 78. Big hitter, swim move, strip ball, high motor, but you see the undisciplined penalty tendency, which goes right back to that storyline we were talking about. So he's going to be a really good player, but you're going to have to keep him in line. All right, Amir Rutherford to the Eagles. This is a CPU pick, 75 overall, hidden development trait, corner. He was a pretty good corner. You see he's more of a man corner. You would like the speed and acceleration to be a little higher, being a first round pick, and then he's got the undisciplined penalty tendency, so you hope his development trait is ideally superstar or higher, but we'll see on that. Brian Baselli, storyline player, goes to the Cowboys. He was the nephew of Jaguars former OL Tony Baselli. He had a problem with remembering the snap count, which is why his awareness is so low. And his personality being spontaneous is pretty reflective of his storyline right there. But obviously 97 strength is awesome. He's got some good traits to go with him. But that's why his awareness is low. And then the undisciplined penalty tendency, matches the storyline. But outside of that, he's a hell of a prospect. And then he's definitely worthy of this pick. He is star development, by the way. Okay. Mo Moss to the Colts at number 9, 6'3", 225. In his storyline, he was the son of Randy Moss, catching machine for Indiana. I also played basketball, point guard on the basketball team. Wasn't fully committed. So you see he's got all the physical traits you want. His route running is kind of reflective of his commitment. He's pretty good on the short, but he needs to work on the medium and the deep. But he's got everything you want. Now, the undisciplined penalty trait's kind of reflective of that lack of commitment, lack of focus, but he does have aggressive and possession catch. And I think his awareness was kind of, I don't see it on here, but it's kind of lower because of that same reason. But he's got everything you want physical trait-wise. He's star development, so you work with him. He's going to be a really good player. All right, Greg Abbott goes to the Raiders at 10. Hidden development, 5'10", 182. Kind of more of a slot corner type. Pretty good speed and acceleration and agility. More of a man guy. So I would put him in the slot to start off while he develops. He's got good catching, charismatic. You hate the conservative play ball trait, but if you keep him in the slot, it may not hurt as much, but the high motor does help. And hopefully he's got a good development trait to help out with that. But, at number 10 overall, you need a corner. It's not a bad pick right there. All right, Mike Switch, free safety, goes to the Chiefs at number 11. And I saw some chatter in the chat about him. Pulling up his storyline, he played for a 3-8 Kansas Jayhawk program. But reading defenses were his strength, right defensive talent around him. He's a dark horse to be a super piece and a good defense. So his hidden trait is superstar. I will tell you that. He's got good size, and you see he's got good speed and acceleration. Reading defenses, that's why his zone coverage is high at 87 and play recognition at 80. His awareness is pretty good at 72 coming out the box as well. Discipline penalty reflects that fact that he can read defenses so well. The aggressive play ball also plays into that, and you see his catching at 79. Charismatic, I wouldn't have gave him that personality trait. He's more of a intense guy if I had to give him a personality trait, but obviously he's going to be a very good player. I'm excited to see how he develops. All right, Reed Franklin. I did a lot of scouting of OLs. Reed Franklin was an undrafted guy who projected to be a late first round pick, and the Bears seem to love taking offensive linemen in the first round, and they took him at 12 overall. Normal development, but he is 72 overall. Good strength. He's more of a pass block guy, which I thought was interesting because the Bears are more of a run first team, but you know, he seems to do well in developing offensive linemen, but he's got the undisciplined penalty trait, which is a little disappointing, but overall, I mean, he's got good traits to be a good offensive lineman, but I think, you know, he was picked a little high. Late first would have been pretty good for him. Shaquille Davis for the Buccaneers. 75 overall, hidden trait. This guy was on my board. I was looking at linebackers to possibly take because Luke's getting older. 5'11", a little small, but you know, in the right place, he'll be fine. Speed and acceleration are good, 87, 85. Good tackle. Well, decent tackle coming out with the hit power and block shed. He'll be fine in the run game. Not much of a coverage guy. You see only 59 zone, but they got him as a balanced linebacker. Balanced play ball. I mean, he's a balanced guy. The strip ball will help at the linebacker position, and I think overall he's a solid linebacker, and he'll grow to be a good player in Tampa Bay. In my opinion, that's a solid first round pick. All right, Ace Carlson was the quarterback of the national champion North Carolina Tar Heels. He falls to number, I think it was 14 in the first round. Going to the Rams, who was looking for a quarterback, and they got, a pretty good one right here. In his storyline, it says that, he led the team to a national title. He threw for 6,000 yards. That was the air raid offense they ran in North Carolina. So was it a product of great talent, or is he really the next Peyton Manning? So he's got star development, I will tell you that. You see his throw power is pretty good, and accuracy is pretty good. Throwing under pressure is good, kind of reflective of winning the national title with that. Intense personality, pocket quarterback. You see he's not going to run away from anybody, but, you run the air raid. It's not a spread system where you run around a lot. Paranoid sense of pressure. I just kind of threw that in there. I thought there was a reason why. I don't remember exactly what it was. But you see aggressive forcing passes, tight spiral, and then discipline penalty, for a quarterback, just to kind of reflect of his success on the college level. I mean, he's going to be a good quarterback, and there's no doubt about that. All right, we took Tremont Stokes at the linebacker spot, 6'1", 248, out of Notre Dame. He's got a hidden development trait. Don't know what it is. I hadn't had a chance to look. Obviously, this guy's going to replace Luke in the future. He'll start on the left side for us, though, this year. I like his speed. Good block shed coming out with 88 hit power is nice. And then he's charismatic, which is, nice for our defense. 68 zone will grow. We'll see how we develop him. Balanced linebacker style. He's got a swim move so we can send him on blitzes a couple times with strip ball and high motor. I just don't like the undisciplined penalty trait. Get some face mask penalties, but we'll live with that. I'm very happy with this pick in the middle of the first round. He was actually the guy I had rated higher than the other guy because I like taller linebackers. So, this guy will fit in perfectly for us. Greg Talent, storyline guy for the Ravens. He is normal development. He is talented. He rushed for over 2,000 yards at Navy. Run heavy offense, scouts believe, inflated his numbers. So that kind of is reflected in the normal development trait. But you look at him, 88 speed, 93 acceleration, 93 agility. He's a good balanced running back. That's what this guy is. He can do it all. He's got some trucking with him, stiff arm. When you got moves, you can kind of choose which way you want to develop him. Leader personality, I think, kind of fits this guy. He does have possession catch. He can catch out the backfield a little bit. Does cover the ball. Also good in the kick return game, 93 kick return. So he's a good player. All right, Josh Evans for the 49ers. He's got a hidden trait. Defensive end, 6'4", 290, good size. You see the strength right there, block shed. He can rush the pass with the power move. Swim move, bull rush, strip ball, high motor. Good traits right there for a defensive end. I think this guy is going to be a nice pairing with Bosa in San Francisco. This is a good pick in the middle of the first round. I like that. This is a good D-line draft. All right, our X Factor, Xavier Foster. I know the Rams were upset that he picked this guy by accident, is what he said. So his storyline, he struggled through a 4-win season behind a bad offensive line. He led the SEC in rushing, prompting scouts to say he would be a great running back, wide receiver, or DB, but Foster wants to be a quarterback. Foster is the son of former Pittsburgh Steelers great running back Barry Foster. So you guys know what you can do with this guy. He's kind of like, and if you played NCAA back in the day, he's kind of like an athlete. He can play a lot of different positions. My suggestion would be, if you have this guy, I would look at other positions he can play. Okay? To be honest, I remember making the ratings. I don't remember what they are. So it'd be interesting to see if you move this guy. Now, he can play quarterback. You see, he's got some decent throw power. They're on the runs very good. His speed is 86, agility 85, carrying 75, acceleration 84. He does have tight spiral, disciplined penalty tendency. He's scrambling quarterback, obviously, and then team player, because he is that athlete. He will be willing to, move to different positions. You see the juke move, spin move, stamina, toughness. I would play around with him. So I know the Rams may not want him, but my advice would be to look at him at some different positions. And then if you still don't want him, then, you can try to move him somewhere and get, something else you want. But he's an interesting player, and he is X Factor. So you kind of got an X Factor that, you're allowed to play with a little bit, which is rare. We don't allow re-rolling typically, but his storyline allows it. So you got a wild card right there. Orlando Spikes, D tackle for the Eagles, as a CPU pick. Big player, 6'7", 307. He got a good strength, block shed, power move. He's got speed and acceleration. He can play on the defensive end as well if you want him to. He's got bull rush. He's got some good traits. And then, he's got the hidden traits, so he'll develop pretty well. That's a good pick. Good job, Eagles. All right, Domingo Santana, storyline guy for the Vikings. He is normal development, though. But you see, he's 81 overall. He is a road grader. He is a monster in the run game. His storyline was kind of funny. Domingo made a living as a young man eating at Taco Bell every day, ballooning up to 320 pounds as a high school freshman. Kids picked on him because of that, but it set him up for success on the football field. He got recruited to Texas. Can he keep his weight under control? Well, 94 strength is a lot of power in that gut. You see the 87 run block. Now, he does come in 77 pass block, so, he's not terrible in the pass block game. You see the impact block, but he's not a puller. He's a straight ahead blocker. You see the speed 57, acceleration 64. He may be a future center if you develop him right. If you like he guards the pull, he's not going to get there very quickly, and he doesn't really have much agility to play the tackle spot. So I would look for him in the future to move to center. Once his awareness gets up a little bit. Or you can leave him at guard and not pull, so he can be a power guy. But I mean, he's a road grading blocker. He's gonna move people in the run game, for 10 years in the league. So that's a good pick in the late first. Good job. Rick Butkus, bit of a storyline bust. 68 overall, normal development. In his storyline, he was a throwback linebacker similar to his grandfather, Dick Butkus. Played for the Bears. Absolute masher in the run game, but he gets fooled a lot with play action passes. So this is defective in his development, which is normal. And then you see his zone coverage, which is horrible at 47. You see he's got good traits to stop the run: 87 tackle, 87 hit power, 83 block shed. And the strength is pretty good for a linebacker. You see big hitter, bull rush, strip ball, high motor. Conservative play ball because he can't, really play the pass that well. You see 44 man coverage. He is disciplined in the penalty tendency, though. He can rush the passer. Power moves, finesse moves, 76, 77. So you look at his strength, you look at what he does well, you might want to look at a position move with this guy. He can't cover the pass. He's got good moves. That's just a hint. Let's keep that in mind. All right, Vincent Brooks for the Redskins. Another kind of a storyline bust, 70 overall, normal development. In his storyline, he's not related to the former great Florida State linebacker Derek Brooks. He was switched from strong safety to outside backer, which is why he's smaller. Scouts wondered if he was big enough to play the linebacker position in the NFL. So he does have good speed and acceleration for the, linebacker position. His tackle and hit power is pretty good. Decent block shed, but you see he falls off in the strength area, obviously, with his size. And then the awareness is a reflection of being switched from safety to linebacker. He's got to learn a little bit. And then you see the other traits right there. Are pretty good. And then he's more of a coverage style linebacker coming down from safety. He's got aggressive play ball. He can do a swim move, and he's disciplined. But can he hold up in the run game, is the big question. So with that strength and that block shed, is he more of a nickel linebacker possibly? You got to play around with him and see. All right, Crutchfield, D tackle for the Saints. He's got a hidden development trait, 6'4", 295, 74 overall. Good strength and power move out the box. Good enough block shed to get started with. Speed and acceleration. He can move around on the D line. He's got strip ball. He's got high motor. Some pretty decent traits, right? This was a good D-line draft, so you can get good value in the D-line in the late first round. That's what this guy is. Good job. All right, Terrell Pickens for the Ravens. Normal development, 69 overall. Speed and acceleration were the big thing on this guy. He's got to work on his traits a little bit. Awareness is not bad, though. Strip ball, high motor, 70 catching's all right. I think he was going to be an early second, so take him in the late first is, a good risk to see how he came out. But you have to put a little bit of work into him to make him game ready, unless you're just going to user this guy. And you probably could user him in sub packages right now if you wanted to get him on the field. Deshaun Sylvester, this was a good value pick for the Giants in the late first. 6'5", 302, run stopping DN with a hidden trait. Good strength, good speed and acceleration. You got to work on the pass rush a little bit, but he's going to obviously come in and stop the run. Move him to D tackle if you want to with these kind of physical traits. Swim move, bull rush, good pass rush traits, which helps on that pass rush skill. High motor and then balance penalty was good for a D lineman. And then 91 stamina is good. He's going to play at a high level more times than not. So that's a good value pick in the late first for the Giants. Anton Marion for the Jets. Another D lineman, normal development. And then you look at him, he's got pretty good strength for a defensive end. He can play inside if you need him to. Block shed, power move. he'll develop into a pretty decent, lineman right there. He's got a good traits: big hitter, swim, bull, high motor. Those are good traits. Stamina's a little low though, so he's gonna have to be a rotational guy, starting out at least until he develops a little bit. But the normal trait's a little disappointing, but overall, he'll be a good, serviceable D lineman. Anton Simon, I was hoping this guy would get to 30. 6'2", 191, hidden development trait. I thought about taking this guy at 15, but we needed a linebacker more than corner. You see he's a man-to-man guy. A little slower than I thought he would be. 90 speed, 89 acceleration. The agility is good at 92. 88 jumping is good as well. He does have aggressive play ball, which is nice. 71 catching is, pretty good out in the box. He's a good corner. And the Browns do, need a little bit of depth in some places. And, this guy's going to be a good player. Just work on his zone if you want to balance him out a little bit. But that'll grow, with time. And he's got a hidden trait to help him out. So, that's a good player right there. All right, Warren Gregory, left tackle for the Falcons, hidden development trait, 85 strength. That's enough to get it done. Pass blocking guy. You got to work on the run blocking stuff a little bit. Undisciplined penalty trait's a little disappointing, but other than that, he's definitely a pass block guy. He's not going to give you much in the run game right now. You have to work on developing him a little bit, but he does have the hidden development trait to help out with him. All right, Marvin Rutherford, D tackle for the Jaguars. Let's see, this is a deep D-line draft. Good value right here. Looks like he moved right in. 75 overall with a hidden trait. And he's definitely versatile enough to play either D end or D tackle in your defense. Good traits right there. Finesse move, strength, and block shed. He's going to grow into a nice looking player. And you see the traits. He's got 94 stamina, which is a big plus for D linemen. Swim, spin, strip ball, high motor. This is a great pick at the end of the first round for the Jaguars. Good job. All right, we took Dale Shipp with our second first round pick. Right tackle, 74 overall, pass protector. Out of South Carolina guy. Very happy with this guy. 93 strength, run block and pass block are good. We're ecstatic with this guy. He may start for 75 agility is amazing. For a guy with 93 strength. Stamina is good. Intense guy that we needed this. This is a home run pick for us. Ecstatic with this guy. Awesome pick. McKinley for the Chargers, 67. I don't know why. I guess he didn't set his draft board, but the last thing the Chargers need is a running back. But you see why he took him. 94 speed, 91 acceleration, 93 agility. Melvin Gordon is getting older. He is 31, but he has Eckler there. So, but this guy's a home run hitter. In his offense, I'm sure this guy will get, some touches. Does have the fight for yards trait, which is nice. All hits cover ball will help on that carrying trait, which, let's see, 83. Yeah, that'll help out on that. Then stamina, and he can help in the kick return game. So, he's a good player. I wouldn't have took him in the first, but, hey, you love speed. This is a guy that obviously would, get you excited. So, there you go, to each his own. And Deshaun Rodriguez for the Lions, 71 overall. Normal development's a little disappointing. You see he's a speed rush guy, 83 speed, 82 finesse move. This will help out because he does have some veteran guys on the defensive line. Obviously this guy will have time to develop under those veterans that, start a lot for the Lions. He does have spin move and bull rush and high motor. And he'll grow into, a nice pass rushing option on third downs, I'm sure, starting out for the Lions. All right, we'll look at the other storyline, guys, and then we'll jump into the preseason. So let's see. Cole Redfern, storyline guy. He was a mini McCaffrey, was his storyline coming out of Stanford. Tried to pattern his game after McCaffrey. He doesn't hold up as well physically. Um, that's kind of reflected in the normal development trait. You see 91 speed, acceleration, and agility. He does have run after catch, and you see the catching traits and the route running that he has. He's a receiving back. Does have fight for yards, discipline penalty. So he does have some things that McCaffrey, does have. Also in the kick return game, he's good. So despite the normal development, he is a very good running back that can do a lot of things for you in the run game and in the passing game. So he's a 3-down running back. That's good. That's a good pick for the second round, in my opinion. All right, Ricky Simmons, 72 overall, normal development going to Green Bay. His storyline was his intangibles were off the charts, but his talent isn't that special. So, well, he's a leader personality. This man is really in tune with my storylines here. This is great. So he's got the discipline penalty trait reflective of that leadership. Predictable player and high motor. He's going to try hard. He's got balanced play tendency. You got to work on his traits a little bit. I think he's more of a slot corner. That's what his progression will be. But overall, for the late second round, it's not a bad value right there. All right, we got any more storyline guys? I think we've got the kicker. Let's see, where did he go? I think he was in the 4th round. And I know you guys are proud of your picks. I invite you to write articles about them. If you want to talk about them, brag about them, that'll help, get you credit going toward rewards at the end of the season. All right, there he is, Boomer Del Greco. He is an X Factor kicker, and some people were asking what are the traits for X Factor. I have no idea. I don't think we've had an X Factor kicker that I can remember. So, he's the nephew of former Oilers kicker Al Del Greco. For you older guys, you know who Al Del Greco is. Had a decorated kicking career, booming 70-yard field goals for the University of Houston. Scouts call him an incredible kicker. He should have a 20-year career at the next level. So, why is he 70 overall? He can kick it everywhere, but you don't know where it's going. Now, that wasn't in his storyline, but, that's kind of, reflected here in his kick accuracy and his awareness. But you see he has 99 kick power, so he's going to boom touchbacks no matter what the wind is doing, in the game, which is awesome. And the Colts, I think, have a dome, so every home game there'll be no kick returns, which is a major plus if you got a dynamic guy back there. So it'll be interesting to see what his X factors come out to be once he, gets it to be public. But yeah, those are all the storyline guys. And it's been 33 minutes, and I got a bunch of messages I got to answer. So that's the end of the draft show. We're going to advance to the preseason. Preseason will advance every 15 minutes up to week 4 of the preseason, where we'll stop. You may sign one player outside of punters and kickers in the preseason. We will be watching. I will be watching, I'll say. And I know when it advances, when the CPU signs someone. If you violate it, we are going to edit the guy to make him unusable if you do not cut him. All right? So you guys that have been here, and you guys do a good job of policing those that may not know. And this is what we're saying, okay? All right. See everyone in 15 minutes. I'll post the advances in the chat. Thanks for watching, guys. Good draft.